Gia Carangi was one of the most iconic models of the 1970s and 1980s. Many people considered her to be the world's first supermodel. She graced the covers of numerous fashion magazines and worked in top advertising campaigns. Her life was glamorous, but sadly, it was short. Gia died at the young age of 26, and not a single person from the fashion world attended her funeral. Why was her life so sad? What caused her death? And what were her final words before she passed away? Watch the full video to find out. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to get notified as I upload a new video. Let's go on! When you hear the term supermodel, names like Gisele Bündchen, Cindy Crawford, Naomi Campbell, or Kate Moss might instantly come to mind. Over time, many beautiful, talented, and striking figures have earned this prestigious title. But who was the world's very first supermodel? This question often sparks debate. Some argue it was Lisa Fonsagraves, others claim Janice Dickinson, while many point to Gia Carangi as the first modern supermodel. Gia rose to fame in the late 1970s with her unique beauty, natural charisma, and emotional expressions in photos. She became an icon in the fashion world, gracing the covers of major magazines like Vogue and Cosmopolitan, and earning the title of the hottest cover girl. Yet behind her glamorous exterior was a story marked by hardship and heartache. Born on January 29, 1960, in Philadelphia, Gia Marie Carangi was the youngest child of Joseph Carangi, a restaurant owner, and Kathleen Carangi, a homemaker. Her father was of Italian descent, while her mother had Irish and Welsh roots. Gia's childhood was deeply affected by two traumatic events. First, when she was just 5 years old, she was sexually abused by a man, an experience that left her deeply traumatized. Second, her parents' marriage was turbulent, marked by frequent arguments and even violence. When Gia was 11, her mother left the family, leaving her without the care and support she needed. Seeking comfort, Gia turned to music and the punk rock scene of the 1970s. While attending Abraham Lincoln High School, she became fascinated with David Bowie and connected with the Bowie Kids, a group of devoted fans who copied his eccentric yet glamorous style. This was a rebellious phase in her life, where she started experimenting with illegal substances. By the time Gia was 17, she began working part-time at some nightclubs, which eventually led to her modeling career. In 1978, she was discovered by Morris Tannenbaum, a local photographer and hairstylist, who immediately spotted her in a crowd. He quickly took her to New York City, where she would begin her career. When Gia arrived in the city, she met the legendary fashion agent Wilhelmina Cooper, who was impressed by her unique look and signed her immediately. Gia's appearance was a bold contrast to the conventional beauty standards of the time. In an industry dominated by blonde, blue-eyed women, Gia stood out with her unfiltered look, no makeup, and willingness to take risks. One of her first photo shoots involved her posing nude behind a chain-link fence, a moment that launched her career. This shoot led to modeling gigs for top brands like Versace and Dior. By 1979, just a year into her career, Gia was already a regular on the covers of major fashion magazines, including Vogue Paris, British Vogue, and Vogue Italia. She also appeared in various advertising campaigns for high-profile fashion houses, including Armani, André Log, Christian Dior, and Yves Saint Laurent. By the time she was 18, Gia was earning $100,000 a year, more than any other model at the time, leading many fashion historians to dub her the world's first supermodel. However, even at the height of her fame, Gia often felt alone. The absence of family affection, childhood trauma, and deep inner loneliness haunted her. To cope, she spent her nights in clubs and started using cocaine. In 1980, Gia's life took a turn for the worse when her agent and mentor, Wilhelmina Cooper, passed away. Wilhelmina had been like a mother to Gia, and her death left her heartbroken. She turned to drugs even more, and this quickly began affecting her career. Gia became unpredictable. She had angry outbursts, left photo shoots to buy drugs, and even fell asleep in front of the camera. In November 1980, Gia left Wilhelmina Models and joined Ford Models, but she was dropped within weeks because of her behavior. Her career was falling apart, and people in the fashion world stopped talking to her, worried that being seen with her would hurt their own careers. To fight her addiction, Gia returned to Philadelphia in February 1981, moving in with her mother and stepfather. She entered a 21-day detox program, but sadly, it was unsuccessful. In late 1981, despite still struggling with drug use, Gia was determined to revive her modeling career and signed with Elite Model Management. However, by the end of 1982, only a few clients were willing to work with her. Realizing her dreams were slipping away, Gia left New York for good in early 1983. Her addiction had taken over her life, and most of the money she earned went to drugs. She eventually had to take other jobs just to survive. In December 1984, Gia entered Eagleville Hospital for an intensive drug rehabilitation program. She stayed sober for 7 months after undergoing therapy. During this time, she worked at a clothing store but later quit. She then found jobs as a checkout clerk and in the cafeteria of a nursing home. By the end of 1985, Gia had relapsed and was using drugs again. She had also turned to prostitution in Atlantic City to support her addiction. In December 1985, a devastating blow came when Gia was admitted to the hospital with bilateral pneumonia. A few days later, she received a devastating diagnosis of AIDS-related complex. In the fall of 1986, another horrifying incident occurred. Gia was brutally beaten and raped, leading to yet another hospitalization. Tragically, 1 month later, Gia died at just 26 years old, becoming one of the first well-known women to succumb to complications from AIDS. Her funeral took place on November 23rd at a small funeral home in Philadelphia. Sadly, no one from the fashion industry attended. However, in her final moments, Gia's mother stayed by her side, fulfilling her childhood wish to feel her mother's presence. Despite her fame, her death received almost no media attention. In 1998, HBO brought Gia's story to life in the movie Gia, starring Angelina Jolie. The film was a huge success, and Jolie won a Golden Globe for her performance. Initially, Jolie admitted she didn't like Gia, but later told the New York Times she came to love her. Jolie explained, "That's the tragedy of her story. You think, God, she didn't need drugs. She was a drug." It seems that Gia spent much of her life searching for something to fill the emptiness left by her mother's departure, but sadly, she turned to drugs instead. Shortly before her death, Gia had a casual conversation with a nurse who didn't know who she was. The nurse mentioned a photographer interested in taking pictures of her daughter. Gia's reply was heartbreaking. "Don't do it. Even if she wants it, don't let her do it. I used to be a model. You don't want your kid to be a model." Gia's story is a powerful reminder of how the pressures of fame and addiction can destroy even the brightest stars. Her beauty and talent brought her to the top, but the pressures of the industry and her personal struggles ultimately led to her tragic end. What do you think of this tragic story? Share your thoughts in the comments. And that's it. If you enjoyed the video and want more like it, be sure to leave a thumbs up below in appreciation. And if you haven't already, you really want to subscribe to my channel and tick the bell icon so you get notified as I upload a new video every week. See you in the next video.